be the first one up and go do my walk and kind of just ground myself for the day before the kids get up and then things just get out of control. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Wow.
I like to get up, go for a walk, relax a little bit, and then by the time I get back, I have the coffee already made. So coffee's my
Okay.
favorite part of the day. One of my big things I do when we're traveling and on the road is I always visit different local coffee shops, and then I'll buy bags of beans from different places and bring them home. So I really love that stuff. Coffee's a big part of my morning. And then I love making my kids breakfast. It's like a special part of the day for me because it's time that we get to spend together in the morning.
Okay.
Always ask them what they want. And then that's like my time with them that I spend focused with my family before like we get into the workouts and the school and then drop them off for daycare. So it's pretty routine, but
Okay.
we've settled into it. I like it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
Really.
thank you.
Congratulations about that.
Thank
So
you.
a lot of questions now. Is
Sure.
you're a coffee fan like Cesaro, right? Cesaro is
Yeah.
a coffee fan as well.
He might be a little bit more of an aficionado than me. I don't know about like yet. I'm not good enough yet to taste all the notes and like,
Okay, okay.
but I do make my own. I make my own espressos. I grind my own beans. I make pour overs and things like that. So I'm learning slowly, but it's definitely
Okay.
something I'm passionate about. I love my coffee.
Okay. So next time I will give you something amazing from Mexico because you
Oh,
know,
I would
right?
love that. Yes,
Yeah.
I love buying beans from Mexico. It's
Yeah.
great.
It's a special. It will be a special for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I look forward to it.
Okay, so I need to translate to the people
Sure.
because this is a
Okay.
ver, gente, perdónenme si me van las cabras que yo me meto ahí. Pues estamos hablando ahorita de cómo es la mañana de Chad Gable y me dice, a ver, ya saben que yo estoy aquí para traducirles todo lo que Chad Gable diga. Me encantaría ponerle los subtítulos, no se puede, ¿verdad? Entonces denme tiempecito. Bueno, Chad le gusta muchísimo el café, entonces me dijo, bueno, yo empiezo mi mañana, me voy a caminar un ratito antes de que los niños se levanten porque tienen 3 hijos. Y otra cosa que le fascina, por ejemplo, o sea, él deja su cafecito haciendo, él se va en la mañanita a caminar, regresa, le prepara el desayuno a los niños, que eso es increíble. Le prepara el desayuno a los niños, se toma su cafecito y ya. Y le dije, oye, ¿qué onda? Es como, o sea, eres tan fan como César. Y me dijo, a ver, sí. Pero, o sea, César es como mucho más especial, como se sabe todo, pues. Y él no, a él le gusta muchísimo, pues dice, yo tengo este café que me gusta explorar sitios de café luego cuando va a viajar. Es otra cosa. Nosotros, es más, ustedes también, si me están viendo en Colombia, lo que sea, mándenme un cafecito para Chad Gable. Entonces, va a ser representación para Chad Gable de Colombia, Venezuela, Cuba y México. ¿Qué tal? What about that? Coffee from Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, and Mexico for you.
Everywhere. That sounds incredible. I can't wait. I'll
Perfect.
make it live here again. We'll do a repeat and I'll make it live on camera for you guys.
Yay. So what about cheat meals? Because everybody loves those kind of things.
They do.
I
They
know
do.
that you train so hard and I can tell that because you have
Yeah.
an amazing body,
You
but come
gotta
on.
have cheat meals though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So when I do cheat meals, it doesn't get too crazy. I like to have like, for me, a big cheat meal would be like a really like big fat ribeye steak. You know what I mean? Like because I can't have those things every day. But when I cheat, I want to
Okay.
have a big juicy one. And so or a big, for me, cheeseburger. You know what I mean? Double cheeseburger with bacon
Okay.
or something. And so usually when I do cheat meals, I like to treat it more of like an event where I'll have my family over or my wife's family and make a night of it. And we'll cook here and barbecue and make it more of a special occasion rather than just, oh, let's just go out and have a cheat meal. Let's get together and celebrate and have fun and do it. And to me, like that makes it all the more better. You know what I mean? It's like the older I get, the more focused I become on just like how important family is and all these things. So the cheat meals are important. They help you stay on
Yeah.
track because you get to give yourself that indulgence once in a while.
Yeah.
But to me, the important thing is like not treating it like just, oh, I'm just looking forward to the food. I just look forward to like
Yeah.
eating all this like stuff I can't always have. It's like the experience of spending it with people is more important to me. And that's what I get out of it. I really love that.
Okay, you're a really family guy and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just when we got the chance, when I first got called up to SmackDown from NXT, uh, first thing my wife and I did was move back to Minnesota where we grew up because we had just had our first kid and our whole family still lived here. And so it was just really important to us, you know, to be back here close to everybody where they could all experience the grandchildren. And like, even as far as my parents go and her parents, like I've never seen them as happy in their lives ever as when they're with the grandkids. You know what I mean? It's like the greatest thing to see. So yes, family has become very, very important to me.
Ok, a ver, gente, Chad Gable es un gran hombre de familia. O sea, le estoy preguntando, y es el primero que me lo dice. ¿Qué onda con los cheat meals? Esta comidita me dijo, no, me encanta, pero a ver, si me voy a los cheat meals, a mí me encantaría un pedazo increíble de ribeye, jugoso, grasoso, delicioso, o una hamburguesa grande, pero que sea en casa. O sea,
And maybe maybe some cookies for dessert once in a while.
Yes, of course, sugar. Once in a while, of course. Y ahorita me dijo, pero por favor, unas galletitas. Las galletitas son una parte importante también en el día. Entonces, él me dijo eso, como, a ver, me encanta, pero, o sea, yo disfruto más cuando son cheat meals con mi familia, porque la familia es algo muy importante para Chad y eso es importantísimo también para nosotros. So, Chad, let's talk about now about WWE.
Okay.
You have been doing a great job since you recruited Otis into the Alpha Academy. I want to know how was the process to achieve that amazing transformation in him?
So Otis and I go back a long ways, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, but we trained together at the Olympic Training Center for Greco-Roman wrestling, amateur wrestling, back in 2010, 11, 12. So we've known each other a long time.
Okay.
And I knew a version of Otis from amateur wrestling that a lot of people hadn't seen. They knew the WWE version of him where he's this fun-loving guy and he likes to eat hams and, you know, he's always being crazy and he's got this wild personality. But I've also seen this, like, guy with some killer instinct, and he's very dangerous and angry and very competitive. And I saw in him that maybe I was the one that could bring that back out of him and get him a little more serious and maybe, you know, bring him up a little bit because let's be honest, he was at kind of the low point in his whole career. He had lost his girl. He lost his best friend in Tucker. He lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. And so it doesn't get much more rock bottom than that for Otis. So I stepped in, tried to bring out the old Otis that I knew, the guy that's dangerous, the guy that's angry, the guy that can hurt you. And I brought that out of him. I know heavyweights. He's a big boy. I've always dealt with heavyweights my whole life. I know how to treat them. I know how to get the most out of them. And so what you're seeing now is, I think, an Otis that's going to be very dangerous in the very near future. And it's going to be exciting.
Oh, I'm excited now about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Such a great story.
Yeah.
A ver, gente, ahí les va el chisme. Chisme. Chisme is gossip. So,
Okay.
Gossip. A ver, pues resulta que para todos los que no saben, yo le pregunté ahorita, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo te has sentido desde que reclutaste a Otis y todo este cambio que has logrado en él en la Academia Alfa? Me dijo, a ver, hay muchas cosas que quizás ustedes no lo sabían. Y resulta que ellos se entrenaron, se conocen desde hace mucho tiempo, por ahí del 2010, 2011, 2012, porque entrenaban juntos en el mismo gimnasio y entrenaban lucha grecorromana y lucha. Entonces, me dijo, es que era completamente diferente. No era esta persona tierna, hermosa, que todos queremos apapachar y que queremos... No. Él era rudo, él no se dejaba, él peleaba, él era aguerrido. Entonces me dijo, es momento de traerlo de vuelta, porque todo lo que pasó con Mandy Rose, o sea, todo lo que pasó con Tucker, todo lo que pasó alrededor de su vida, y él está como, oh, no, y Chad lo que va a hacer es, sacudirlo, ¡pa! Y que todos volvamos a descubrir esa faceta que tiene que mostrarnos Otis. ¿Qué tal eso? Eso está increíble. So now, how was the Alpha Academy born? Is it some kind of a new version of the American Alpha, or is it a new thing?
So that came because I was sick of being Shorty G. I had enough. That wasn't me. That wasn't me being real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The real me was the version from American Alpha, the version that sees himself as someone that can do what he actually says, that always achieves what he says he's going to. And I had lost that. And I also looked around the locker room, and I had thought that the people I was seeing and the other superstars I had seen were lacking something. They were lacking that alpha mentality, the kind that says, no, I am the best guy here. And maybe some guys were a little too afraid to say that. And I said, so I'm going to step up and be that guy now, and look around and see who else is willing to do that. And thank God, like, just the timing was just right that Otis was there and needed it too. And he was just the perfect companion, the perfect first recruit for Alpha Academy. So it was born that way. And now you're looking at two guys that are motivated, driven. We have the same mentality as far as wanting to reach the top, and like just not going to take anything from anybody. So it's getting very dangerous. We're getting very dangerous, and I see, you know, big things in both of our futures. We're excited.
Okay, that's great. I mean, it's something that I want to do when you, and everybody, you know, when you're sick about something and when you're tired or something, just move. And you have to show them like you're big and you're amazing persona or your talents or something.
When I got that chance to decide that I wanted to move on from Shorty G and I was no longer going to be that guy, I can't tell you how like cathartic it felt. It felt so good to say, I'm done with that. And I just know how many people go through that and feel that way about these different aspects of their life, whether it's their job or it's just certain things they're going through. And they say, I want to be done with that. And I got to do that and just say, I'm finished. It's over. No more. And yeah, it felt so good. And I'm so happy. Yeah.
And we have to confess, I have to confess that you are really super talented, and we are excited to see you with Otis, but to see you there showing everyone like, yes, it's me. And yes, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A ver, ahorita estábamos hablando acerca de qué onda, ¿no? Esta cuestión de la Academia Alfa, de que si es una nueva versión de la Academia Alfa americana, americana Alfa, y me dijo, pues mira, la verdad es que yo ya me había cansado de ser Shorty G, o sea, ya me había cansado por completo, entonces decidí como ir mucho más adelante, decidí también que era el momento, por ejemplo, que yo estaba viendo que Otis estaba en la misma sintonía, y dijimos, ya basta. Entonces, que los dos estuviéramos en la misma sintonía y poder demostrar quién soy realmente, no solamente esa persona, fue completamente diferente. No estar nada más en el vestidor diciendo, ay, es que yo quiero demostrar lo que soy, pero no me lo permiten. Me cansé, lo rompí, lo hice y ahora estoy enseñando quién soy. Entonces, eso es también una cosa increíble que todos debemos de hacer. Cuando te canses de ese lugar, muévete de ahí. So you have been 3 times tag team champion, 1 in NXT, 1 in Raw, and 1 in SmackDown.
Yes.
And in SmackDown with Jason Jordan, and in Raw with Robert Roode.
Yes.
So is that what are you looking for with the Alpha Academy to become a new SmackDown tag team champions, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think that so far we've shown glimpses of what we can do as a tag team, but it's been kind of start and stop. So people haven't got the full kind of vision or feel of what we're going to do, because we both have intentions to win the tag team championships on SmackDown. That's our goal. Like, we're going to do it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we've hit these moments of brilliance where we've had this momentum, and you can see how dangerous. And we just sent the Street Profits packing a few weeks ago, you know, injured them left and right, and they're gone for weeks at a time because of what Otis and I have done to them. So those are former tag team champions that we're just putting out of commission. So people can see how dangerous we are. We are going to win the tag team championships. And above and beyond that, my vision for the Alpha Academy is to also turn out guys like myself and Otis to be individual champions of singles, whether it's Intercontinental, WWE championships, Universal championships, U.S. titles. We're not just limited to tag team, and I'm not just limited to tag team. I think because of my past and what you said, and I'm very proud of my record as a tag team champion, of being a Triple Crown tag team champion. You know what I mean? It's something I'm very proud of. But I also don't want people to assume that I'm simply just a tag team wrestler. And They've also gotten to see moments of like my run in King of the Ring a couple of years ago, for example, matches I've had with different guys like AJ Styles, and just throughout my career where you can see that I'm very capable as a singles wrestler,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
have big goals as a singles wrestler as well. So
Okay.
it's not limited to one thing. We just want to take over the world here with the Alpha Academy.
Yay! This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
A ver, gente, pues estábamos hablando ahorita acerca de que ha sido campeón 3 veces, ¿no? Una de campeón en parejas en NXT, en SmackDown y en Raw, o sea, se lo ha llevado todo. Y le dije, ¿eso es lo que estás buscando para la Academia Alfa? Y me dijo, sí, pero no. O sea, me encantaría hacer, que ya lo están viendo, ¿no? También las personas ya vieron cómo funciona Otis, cómo funciono yo, todo lo que hemos logrado. Y ahora, claro que me gustaría ser campeones de parejas en SmackDown. Pero la verdad es que mi finalidad es que toda la gente conozca y vea que Chad Gable puede hacerlo solo. O sea, que yo puedo ser el campeón de los Estados Unidos, el campeón de la WWE, lo que sea, pero él solo. O sea, que cada uno de ellos ya pueda conseguir un título en solo. Y yo creo que lo va a conseguir porque tiene todo el talento que necesitan. So we were talking about the tag team. So I want to know, which team do you prefer to win the titles? From the Usos, an important part of the legacy, or from the Mysterios, the first SmackDown tag team champions as a father and son?
So you're talking about two really, really good tag teams.
Yeah.
I think we're in a good spot right now on SmackDown as far as the tag team division goes, because there's so much star power there and there's so many teams with so much ability. Personally, I would love to get a little bit of revenge on Dominic and Ray, because we weren't quite finished with them before they moved on and won the tag team championships. And we had done some damage to them that we were pretty happy with, proud of ourselves about. And they kind of took a different direction, and they went off with the Usos and captured the championships for a bit there. So I would love to win it from them. I'd love them to get the titles back and then get our revenge on them and steal the titles. But that being said, the Usos would be great too, because they've proven themselves over the years as just this long-standing legacy of what a tag team should be. You know, they've always been together. They've always been successful. They work so well together. And I've got some personal history with them too, from a time when I first got called up on SmackDown, and we've had a lot of issues in the past. So I have some issues there that I would like to take care of too. So either way is fine with me.
Ok, perfect. A ver, pues ahorita estábamos hablando que de quién le gustaría tener los títulos. Si de los Misterios, ya saben, de Dominic y de Rey, o de los Usos, Jimmy J. Y él me dijo, a ver, la verdad es que o sea, ambos son muy fuertes, pero yo creo que tenemos asuntos y cuentas pendientes con los Misterios que resolver. Sin embargo, con los Usos han demostrado que son una facción súper, súper, súper competitiva y que han logrado todo lo que quieren. Pero lo tengo que pensar mucho mejor. Yo creo que se va a quedar con los Misterios. So now let's talk about your life and career. When do you decided to train in? When do you decided to start training wrestling?
So I started amateur wrestling when I was 6 years old, very young.
Oh, wow.
And I did it for 20 years. 6 years old, yes. Amateur wrestling.
Wow.
My dad took me to practice, and we just fell in love with wrestling, and I did it. It's basically the only sport I ever did. I trained amateur wrestling my whole life. I never played football. I never did baseball, none of those things. Wrestling year-round, every year for about 20 years. And decided to train for the Olympics because Greco-Roman was a style of wrestling that really resonated with me, really clicked with me. And so I started training for the Olympics when I was 18, like specifically for the Olympics, and then made the Olympic team in 2012, which was like the defining moment of my whole amateur wrestling career. You know, it was like capped everything off, and it was really special time, especially like I reminisce a lot now this month because of the Olympics just finishing up this week. I look back on that time, and it was such a special kind of time in my life that I look back on so fondly, because it comes and goes so fast. You know, I say I wrestled for 20 years, and it's such a long time, but at the same time, it feels like it just went like that. But it was very special. And then at the same time, through high school and when I was doing all this amateur wrestling, I was always a huge professional wrestling fan of WWE and all kinds of professional wrestling. And it just so happened that there was scouts at the Olympics when I was wrestling there for Greco from WWE, and we kind of got in touch, and then I stayed in touch throughout the following year and landed a tryout. And it just couldn't have worked out timing-wise better to where I basically transitioned right from the Olympics into WWE.
Wow.
So yeah, it worked out pretty well. Sometimes in life, I find, hard work is the most important, but sometimes a little bit of luck helps out too. You know what I
Of
mean?
course,
So
yeah.
timing was good on that one.
Ok, a ver, pues la verdad es que esto es impresionante. La carrera, la vida de Chad Gable es una de las cosas más chidas. Él empezó a entrenar desde que tenía 6 años. O sea, dice que toda su vida se ha dedicado básicamente, no, nunca jugó fútbol, nunca jugó basquetbol, nada. Toda la vida estuvo entrenando lucha. O sea, y de hecho cuando tenía 18 años fue cuando decidió y dijo, bueno, pues ahora vámonos a entrenar lucha grecorromana para ir a las Olimpiadas y competir en las Olimpiadas. Entonces me estaba diciendo también como que esta parte que acaba de pasar en las Olimpiadas, para él fue revivir algo muy emocionante. Y esta transición que tuvo, ¿no? De lucha grecorromana a entrar en la WWE, que desde niño también era fan, dijo, para mí ha sido muy especial. Y yo no puedo creer cómo ha pasado el tiempo tan rápido que ahora nada más me doy cuenta y ya estoy aquí con un trabajo súper duro, porque eso es lo que se necesita, trabajo súper duro y me lo dijo muy bien, y también un poquito de suerte. Esa es la miel del pastel. Perfect. So, what about your friends and family? How they reacted as soon as they learned that you signed contract to become a WWE superstar?
Well, to be honest, my mom and dad, my parents were not very surprised because they knew this was
Yeah.
always kind of a goal of mine.
Okay.
So they knew once I had the tryout and that it was so successful that if they offered me a contract that I would take it. The difficult part was that, to start wrestling in NXT, we would have had to move to Florida, my wife and I, and we were living in Minnesota at the time. And I asked my wife and I told her, if we're going to do this thing, we have to move to Florida, which is all the way across the country. And lucky for me, she's always been so supportive, and she just said, sure, let's go. And we basically packed up and just moved across the country. So I got really lucky. My family, my wife, everybody was just super supportive, excited for me, not surprised. They kind of knew it was always a goal of mine. And it helps when you have a support system like that and you've got people behind you always. It makes these types of things and moving and things like that a lot easier. So it was pretty good.
Always.
Yeah.
Family support,
Yeah.
it's something. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not something, it's everything.
Everything, right? Yeah.
A ver, pues ahorita estaba diciendo, oye, ¿y qué onda? ¿Cómo reaccionó tu familia cuando firmaste contrato con WWE? Y me dijo, mira, la verdad es que dentro de ellos siempre supieron que yo iba a firmar contrato con ellos y mi esposa me apoyó muchísimo. Nos tuvimos que venir desde Minnesota hasta Florida, pero para ella no hubo ningún problema y siempre han estado conmigo. La familia siempre es lo más importante cuando te apoyan. Pum, ya lo tienes todo ganado. So, I want to know about your family, your wife. I
Sure.
want to know how do you met your wife, Christy? Could you tell us the story, please?
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in a town in Minnesota, a small
Yeah.
town in the middle of Minnesota. And she grew up right basically up the road from me. We went to the same school. She's a year younger than me. And she was a cheerleader in high school when I was wrestling. So she was cheerleading for the wrestling team. And we had just met at a friend's house at a little bit of a party one weekend when I was 16. It's very young. And we've been together ever since. So it's been a long time. We met in high school sweethearts. And I think that's pretty cool because you don't see that so often anymore. You know what I mean? A lot of times nowadays people meet much later on in life. But we both grew up in a small town in Minnesota right by each other. And we've been together ever since. We just celebrated our 10-year wedding
10 years,
anniversary.
yes.
So,
and actually, congratulations about
thank you.
that.
Yeah. I had her go back and look through some like old photos of us, when we were really young, so I could just post something about it. And I was like, man, That's a long time. You forget. I already said how fast life goes, but it's like 20 years
Yeah.
ago we've been all together almost, you know. And yeah, she's been just my rock and just by my side for everything ever since the beginning.
Wow.
No matter what it was. You know, when I moved to college to start training for the Olympics, it was in Michigan first, and she moved there with me. And then we got
Uh-huh.
married, and I had to move to Colorado to keep training for the Olympics. And she was fine with that. And then let's
Wow.
move to Florida for WWE and everything. It's
Wow,
just like,
wow, wow.
so as I said, you know, when you've got support system like that, you really can't beat it. So I found a good one. I got lucky.
Yes, congratulations,
Thank
really.
you.
And 10 years together is
Yeah.
something that we have to say
Oh, thank
congratulations.
you. Thank
And as
you.
well because it's a great love story. It's
Yeah.
here
Thank
in
you.
Mexico is kind of those kind of movies that I really love to watch, you know?
Oh,
You have
yeah.
an
Yeah.
amazing story.
Thank you.
Congratulations. A ver, sorry, pues la cosa aquí es que le estoy preguntando que cómo conoció a su esposa, Christy, que por cierto celebran 10 años, 10 años. Y me dijo, bueno, la conocí desde que íbamos juntos a la escuela, es un año más joven que yo, vivía, o sea, él es de un pueblo en Minnesota, y me dijo, vivíamos súper cerquita, siempre hemos estado juntos. Ella era, imagínense, ella era la porrista del equipo de wrestling de donde él estaba. Entonces es una historia de amor de película de Estados Unidos, o sea, yo así lo veo. Y siempre lo ha apoyado muchísimo. Cuando se tuvo que mudar a Colorado, ella se fue con él. Cuando estuvo o sea, que le dijeron que tenía que mudarse a Florida, ella estaba con él. Entonces es esas historias de amor que la verdad, desafortunadamente ya no se cuentan tanto. Así que, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
I love those kind of stories.
Me too. Thank
You
you.
can tell.
Yeah.
Um, so you were at the Summer Olympics in London. We were talking about that
Sure.
in 2012, representing the United States. So I
Yes.
assume that you watched the Tokyo Games
Of course.
and to Gable Stevenson, right?
Sure.
So do you
Sure.
have the opportunity to see him in action?
Yep. I watched pretty much all the wrestling that was available online. I followed pretty closely. I watched more Olympics this year, I think,
Yes.
than I ever have, just because it's becoming, you know, more and more accessible. Like you can just find it through all
Yeah.
these different avenues, and it's always being live
Yeah.
streamed. I watched Gable win the gold medal, which was inspiring. Made me proud to be a Minnesotan because he's wrestled here as well. And
Yeah.
just the way that he did it, you know, it came, for those that don't know, it just came down to the very last second, and he needed
Yeah.
2 takedowns to win it. And for those that don't know how difficult that is to score 2 takedowns on a world class guy in that short period of time, is like, it's almost impossible. And so basically
Yeah.
what he pulled off was like, it was like a movie, you know, and it was pretty
Yeah.
special to watch. And beyond that, just the entire performance from the United States wrestling team made me so proud. They won so many medals,
Mhm.
and they all conducted themselves in a manner that just, it spoke really highly for the United States as a country
Yeah.
and the athletes we produce. Like they were all so
Yeah.
proud and so distinguished, and to put on a great performance, but then also be humble and handle it in
Yeah.
a proper way. It's so nice to see. So I was really proud of the U.S. wrestling team. They did such a great job.
Ok, bueno, pues ahorita estamos hablando acerca, bueno, le pregunté porque él estuvo en las Olimpiadas de 2012 en Londres y le dije, oye, ¿las viste? ¿Viste también a Gable Stevenson que estaba por ahí? Me dijo, sí, sí lo vi y la verdad es que para mí yo nunca había visto tanto las Olimpiadas como esta vez porque cada vez hay más acceso a poderlas ver en donde tú quieras. Entonces, ahora verlo para mí me emocionó muchísimo porque aparte de la historia que él trae y me dice, y lo mejor de todo fue que yo lo pude, o sea, lo pude sentir a Estados Unidos ganándose todas esas medallas y se siente súper orgulloso de que su país sea un país que está produciendo tanto talento deportivo. Y esas son las cosas que deberíamos de copiarles, ¿verdad? Producir talento buenazo. And talking about Gable,
Yeah.
do you think he is that he had a really great opportunity in WWE?
I think so. He's at an age, he's so young. He's 21 years
Yeah,
old. So, first of all, to win a gold medal at heavyweight at 21 years old is unbelievable. It's
yeah, yeah,
stunning. I think he's so young that he could choose whatever path he wants. I don't know him personally, so I don't know what his goals are, what his
Okay.
aspirations are ultimately beyond the Olympics.
Yeah.
But he's young enough to do essentially whatever he wants. He could wrestle in
Indeed.
the next Olympics if he wanted to. He could come to WWE and he would be a great superstar. Maybe he'd fit into the academy. I mean, we would
Yeah.
welcome a guy like that into the Alpha Academy. But
Hey.
he's young, he's special, he's so talented that he's in a great place right now where he's just going to have the ability to choose his path and he's going to be able
Yeah.
to do whatever he wants. So he's very fortunate. He's in a good spot right now at a young
Yeah.
age.
Perfect. A ver, pues yo le pregunté, ¿qué onda? ¿Tú crees que Gable pueda decir, o sea, pueda hacer material para WWE? Me dijo, bueno, pues es que ganando una medalla a los 21 años, pues tú puedes hacer lo que tú quieras. Tú puedes decidir a dónde ir. El mundo es básicamente tuyo. Pero que si él decide ir a WWE, tiene un espacio en la Academia Alfa. Así de simple. So, before we have some questions from fans, but
Okay,
I want to know something, Chad.
sure.
Do you know some Spanish, like words in Spanish or something?
Ooh, I know just a few. I don't know. I learned some in high school, but
Okay,
maybe just a
okay.
couple.
Which words do you know?
Let me see. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Perfect.
Okay, muy bien.
Muy bien.
And we work on counting to 10 in Spanish with my oldest daughter quite a bit. She's 5 years old, so she's very interested in learning how to count in Spanish. So we work on that a lot too. So we do uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, and she never gets siete. She doesn't quite understand that one yet. Siete,
Okay.
ocho, nueve, diez. But she's
Oh,
getting there. She's
perfect.
doing good. Yeah.
Perfect. Del 1 al 10. Y hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we have some questions from fans. Are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Perfect. A ver. Yeah, a ver. This one. About your dream match in WrestleMania with Otis.
Ooh, let me see. If I could pick from anybody in history, if it's just a dream match of all time, I
Yeah.
would probably say Otis and I versus the Steiner brothers because they're like my favorite tag team of all
My
time. We have
brothers.
similar styles, a lot of
Yeah.
suplexes, amateur wrestling, and I think we would just beat the crap out of each other to everybody's enjoyment, and it would be great. As far as like current teams, man, I would love to throw down in one of the like a multiple man like ladder match at WrestleMania where it was just like everything on the line with the Usos and Ray and Dom and like the Dirty Dogs like Bobby and Dolph and put all of these guys and the Street Profits, all these guys that I know have so much potential and talent, everybody in one match, throw a bunch of ladders in there and just like let us go crazy. And I think we would just tear it down. You know what I mean?
Wow, 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 wow. A ver, los Steiner Brothers son los que escogería para un match en WrestleMania y me dijo, pero espérate, a mí me encantaría un multiparejas de lucha de leñadores con escaleras y toda la cosa. Y aparte de todo, se la voló diciéndome a todos, o sea, de escaleras, básicamente, ¿no? Y me dijo, bueno, a mí me encantaría tener a los más top de tops ahorita, ahí, dándose unos con otros. Entonces, la neta, me parece increíble. Yo me quedo yo quiero ver ese WrestleMania con Otis y esa lucha de escaleras. So, this one.
Okay.
The wrestling teams, will you be recruiting more people into the Alpha Academy?
Oh, yes. I am always on the lookout for new talent, but we don't just hand out applications, they're not just always open, like, come here if you want to try it out. It's very, very special if you get invited into the Alpha Academy. So it's not open to everybody. I'm always looking. I've always got my eyes open. And
Okay.
we would definitely be looking to add people. And maybe we will add some women wrestlers as well. We're not just for guys. Alpha Academy can develop the first woman Alpha as well in WWE. I would love to do that. Bring all kinds of championships. So it's open. I've got
Okay.
my eyes open.
Ok, bueno, gente, pues resulta que la Academia Alfa no solamente es para muchachos, también es para chicas, está diciendo. Y él no dice ahorita como esta persona o esta, él tiene los ojos abiertos para ver a quién va a reclutar. pero a reclutar. Pero dice que está pensando también en esta cuestión de darle una oportunidad a las mujeres, así que eso es increíble. So, Alejandro Uribe García, do you want to come to Mexico and when? To
I would
Mexico City.
love to come to Mexico. One of my greatest like loves in life is traveling. I did it even before WWE. Obviously, with WWE, we travel all the time. We travel everywhere.
Yeah.
And before WWE, when I was doing Greco-Roman wrestling, we also traveled overseas a lot and to international places to get different training camps and different tournaments and things like that. But I've been to Mexico in the past. I love it there. I love the people. I love the culture. It's very unique. You know, it's very its own place compared to everywhere else. I've been to some countries and different places that kind of they don't quite seem so different than what I'm used to, but Mexico has its own, you know, just its own feel. It's very different, and I love that about it. It's very unique and special. And they love you guys love wrestling so much, and I love that about it. So I can't wait to get back. I'm hoping we have a show there very soon because it's one of my favorite places to be.
Yay, we're waiting for you a lot. Okay, so if you're coming next time, if you're coming to Mexico, you have to learn something in Spanish that is really important. Okay?
Okay.
So,
tell me, please.
Tres tacos.
Oh no. 1 second. Sorry, hold on. I lost you. Let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Tres tacos.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Tres tacos de ribeye.
Ribeye.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Tres tacos
de ribeye
de ribeye
con salsa
con salsa
que no pica.
que no pica.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay. I'll remember.
This is your first Spanish lesson.
Thank you very much. I hope I did okay. No
Great.
ribeye? What is it?
Hot ribeye. Yeah, hot sauce. It's like spicy.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Okay. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It was
of course.
a pleasure to have you here with us, really. And congratulations about everything, the Academy Alpha, all your talent, your energy is amazing. So we love you so much, and you have to know that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. This was awesome. I can't wait to get back to Mexico. We're looking forward to it. I promise.
Thank you so much. And sorry. Before you leave, we want to know something. Let's imagine that the Alpha Academy with the SmackDown Tag Team titles wins, and you want to throw a party to celebrate, and I'm your party planner. Which are the 4 items that I can never forget to buy?
Well, Otis is going to be there because he's part of the Tag Team Championships. He gets very mad if you don't have all the right meats. So just bring pork, beef, chicken, and I was going to say fish, but he doesn't really like fish. So let's do shrimp. He's a big shrimp guy. So all meats, just meats.
Okay.
Meats galore.
Meats. That's it. Perfect.
We don't want an angry Otis, okay? No, Otis.
No, thank you so much. Yeah. All the meats. Perfect. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chad. And see you next time. You know that El Brunch es tu casa.
Thank you so much.